This is Atlas's 41st session, and today I'm going to work on putting just a lead rope over his head and neck, and that's going to prepare him for haltering. I've done some haltering work with him before, but it just seems that it needs to be a little bit more solid. So here he just touched the rope, and so I clicked and fed him, and I'm going to have him do it again, and then click and feed. So I'm just kind of holding it up so either side kind of goes on the sides of his nose, so the middle of the rope where my hand's holding touches the middle of his nose so he can see it in both of his eyes, because the goal is to put it up over his head. So like that, click, and then I'll feed him, and I'm putting up a little bit higher that time. He's not super worried about it, but this really just is breaking it down. He is okay with it, so I'll wait and click him there. So he's okay with me kind of putting my arm over his neck and then kind of sliding the halter up like that, but also like to put on halters that can slide up over the ears, and that's where this comes in, and it just makes him more comfortable overall. So I'm gonna click him there. And really, he's been pretty decent, so if your horse is really worried about having the rope on his face, obviously stay in that place until the horse relaxes. He's not too worried about this, and he's had some haltering done, so he's kind of moving through it pretty good. So I'm just going to wait. A bug is biting me. And I have to sneeze as well. So back at it. Still a bug. Okay. So they're a little bit on his forehead. I'll click and I'll feed him. So I'm just moving up a few inches every time. If you need to go slower, definitely do that. But he's paying attention. His ears are on me. He's pretty good. Click. Very good. And so he's moving his head up a little bit there. That's every time I click. He's just like, oh, I'm ready for a treat. So that is some tension there. I am aware of it. But that is what the head is doing there. It's not because of the rope. It's because of the click. So he's just excited about the food, which we need to work on getting rid of. But here he's coming toward me a little bit. He seems pretty interested, so all of those are good signs. So go ahead and put it up a little bit higher. I'll click right there. That was really good. Not a whole lot of fear there. A little tense, like he wanted to move his ears back when the rope and my hand kind of went up on his pole, but not too bad. I'm just going to let him chew, and then we'll put it back up there again. I'll click, and I'll kind of slide it down his face too, because that's going to be very similar to what the halter is going to do. And again, he's still not great at taking treats, so that's why we're working with the hay. So click right there. That time he kind of lifted his head up a bit more than the other times. He wasn't quite sure about that. And obviously, as we get closer to the ears, that could be why lots of horses don't like their ears being touched, especially in the beginning, because he just doesn't, he doesn't trust you, or you're trying to understand each other. So I'm going to take it nice and slow and just make sure that he's totally comfortable with it before I just shove it over his ears and hope for the best. So again, kind of slide it up there. This time I'm touching his ears. That was really nice. He didn't really react badly at all. So I clicked when it was up there on his ears, and then I'll feed him. And the goal is to kind of slide it up over his ears, and then it's going to be behind the ears on the pole, but we're going to take it nice and slow there. Click, take it off. That was really good. He was actually lowering his neck there before I put it on there, so staying fairly relaxed. And he's kind of looking for the rope to put it on his face, so that's pretty good. So he kind of moved his head, so I kind of waited, click, and then I kind of definitely had pushed on his ears a little bit, and he handled that quite well. Just let him take his time here. I want to give him plenty of time to chew too, so he kind of raised up a little bit, so I'm just going to back off, give him a second, and then I'll go ahead and go again. And he's coming toward me, so he's not running off and being worried, so that's great. Come up here and click. And he was raising his head a little bit again as I went going up toward his ears, so I didn't go as far as I had before, because he was showing me that he had some tension there. So again, I'm gonna let him chew. Very good. Showing some curiosity there, and click, and then I'm just gonna pull it right off. So it's just gonna be there for a second, and then I'm gonna take it right off. That was really nice. And he didn't seem super worried about the rope being on the other side of his ears, so different locations, so he might get a little worried because I'm on one side and then the rope's kind of behind me. Click him. Very nice. And then I'm kind of working with pulling it forward too, so when I take that halter off eventually, I can kind of pull it forward and down his face. But that was really nice for his first time. So I'll just end the lesson on a good note there.